All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 12th day of November 2018. Well, happy Veterans Day. If you're a veteran, thank you for your service. My husband is a veteran. Technically, it was yesterday. But in this country, we tend to celebrate things on a Monday. So if you took the day off, good for you. You deserve it. Well, today, let's see. Looks like one of my candles is starting to go out a little bit over there. That was quick. Today being a Monday is governed by the moon, the water element. So maybe we think about cycles and tides and all of that. Feminine energy, mystery, intuition. Since it's the 12th, and we're not going to use the month or the year to look at the numerology of the day during this month, because 11 being November and then 2018 is also an 11. We've been leaving those alone as master numbers for illumination. So we have 12, which reduces to 3, and that's a very catalytic number. It represents mind, body, and spirit in unity. So unity consciousness, in a sense. Triplicities. 3 is very prevalent in our numerology. That and 7. The universe is considered septonate, or a series of 7s. But it's also in 3s, so you'll see some 12s in there. You've got the 12 astrological signs, although technically now we have a 13th that's moved in. But I don't think that we're looking at that. From what I've been reading, it doesn't look like astrologers are considering that unless you have been born after 2010 or 2010 and beyond. I think that that's where it's Ophiuchus. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. I used to know. But anyway, but three is an interesting thing. We'll see. We've been getting a lot of synchronicity between the cards and the numerology for the day. So let's see if we get that today. I'm going to use a different deck. It's still the Rider-Waite, but it's the shinier version. And so it's not the universal weight, I don't think. I think the universal weight is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's this one. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to jump the computer. I think this is the universal weight. So it's upside down. But anyway, I was going to change. I can't find one of the cards. I can't find the High Priestess card. So I lost it this weekend. I don't know what I've done with it. So I'm going to have to get another deck if I can't find that card, because I can't use it. But anyway, it's in this one. Only I don't want to pull it from another deck, because I think that a deck belongs together by itself, you know. So even though it's still the Rider-Waite, I don't like to mix up decks. I'd rather just get another one. So let's count 13 anyway and see what we have today. Like I say, we've been having a lot of synchronicities between the numerology and the cards, even the runes as well. So let's see if we continue that trend this week. 9, 11, 12, 13. Well, I dropped one on the floors, but I'm gonna count it as part of my counting. So anyway, we have the Magician, which we had last week. Now the Magician is card 1 of the Major Arcana, and you're looking here at all elements in balance. You can see on the table. You see the chalice for cups, or the water element. You see the pentagram for pentacles, or the earth element. You see the sword for air element, or swords. And you see wand for wands, or the fire element. So all directions are represented, including as above, so below. You see him raising a type of wand to the looks like a wand. I'm never sure on this one. It's almost like it's a scroll, but I'm not sure. But you see him pointing to the ground and reaching up above. So as above, so below. All directions are represented here. You see lovely garland with flowers up above him. And it's also on the ground below. Got a little glare on that. You see the lemniscate, or the infinity sign, above him. But it's the first numbered card that, well, it's numbered. The Fool is numbered, but it's a 0, so that means total unity consciousness, where you take the leap into form. But what's cool about the Magician is you're looking at the alchemical basis of our existence, and it's how we manifest into form. And so basically, when we're in alignment with Source, then what we're doing is we are manifesting all of those things in terms of mind, body, spirit alignment. So again, even though this is a number 1 card, it still aligns with the 3 for today. So that's interesting. That's interesting. But let's see what the rune has to say. I like the Magician card because it tells us that we need to, here in form, we're about polarity, unfortunately. And the Magician, though, is telling us that all things need to be in balance. And so here we are on a Monday where, it's a 3-day, and we're talking about that sort of mind, body, spirit unity, or unity consciousness. Our polarity gets out of whack, and that's what we're experiencing a lot of right now, where you have toxic masculinity happening. And it doesn't make really any difference if you're a man or a woman, if you can express that in your life. It's just a progressive, or not a progressive, but a projective Mars type of catalytic energy. 3 today is a catalytic energy. So, what you're looking at is, what are we going to manifest today when we see the Magician card? What will we bring into form today in our lives? What kind of ideas or what problems are we going to cause? Both ways. Are we going to do something positive or negative? Today. So, well, here we have the 9th rune of the Elder Futhark, called Hagalaz. And there are 3 runes in the Elder Futhark that are considered known runes: Hagalaz, Nathis, and Isa. But Hagalaz is essentially destruction within a fixed structure or fixed framework. When we see Hagalaz, we think of ice, or hail. Okay, and so hail, of course, is a fixed form of water, right? Because it's ice that's congealed into a round ball of some kind, or some kind of, chunk. Okay, and it causes great change, particularly if they're large chunks of hail, and they can do a lot of damage, but then it all just disappears when it's all over with, right? Kind of like the witch, and so Hagalaz is known as the witch rune as well. But basically, what we're still talking about here, though, is change. But it needs to be change that's done in a way that is structured, okay? We all talk about, politicians come into power and they say, oh, I'm working for change. Well, we want to change the status quo. We want to change this, or we want to change that. Well, everything that you do to change something has an effect. So there's cause and effect, right? Cause is whatever you've done to change things, and the effect is whatever, happens as a result of it. And when we see Hagalaz come into play, what it's saying is, let's use a little bit of wisdom here with what we're going to do. Let's make sure that we can assess what eventual outcomes are going to be to whatever change we want to make, and make sure that we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, or creating a bunch of unintended consequences that we just didn't see coming. When maybe if we just sat back and chatted a little more and looked into the history, maybe researched a little bit, looked at I know facts, which people are saying don't exist anymore. Well, yeah, they do. That's all just a bunch of bunk that he's saying. Well, anyway, the bottom line is, though, when we manifest something, we want to do it in a way that I mean, we have to recognize we can't always control the outcome. So we need to be sensible when we're going to manifest change. We need to look at all sides and not just, leap before looking, basically. And given that, you've got a witch sense involved here with Hagalaz, what you have there is the no nonsense. I'm not going to put up with any drama. Uh, I like everything to be where it's supposed to be kind of attitude, where you're not allowing for your own ego to get in the way, but being able to think about things from a broader perspective, to maybe stand back, look at things and say, well, okay, what is really going to serve the greater good? And so for today, then, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? To have Hagalaz and the magician, the witch and the magician, both energetic, on a 3-day where we're, in unity consciousness and aligning mind, body, and spirit together so that we have the best outcome. Also, given that it's a Monday, we need to recognize that there are cycles that happen. Sometimes if you just wait a minute, things will change and maybe things will resolve themselves. And so sometimes when you're looking at trying to manifest something, make sure that it actually indeed needs to be manifested. Sometimes a lot of this stuff that we witness, that we seem to want to react to and then make decisions about, some of it isn't even real. It's based on illusion that gets out of control, that maybe takes a foothold. Somebody says something, but it has no basis in reality, but it sounds interesting. And so others pick up on it, and pretty soon via social media and the internet, it's everywhere. And pretty soon that's true. No, it just means somebody started a rumor that went ballistic, and maybe they didn't mean to. Maybe they were just, supposing, and someone took them seriously. So you just never know where a lot of this stuff comes from. We're seeing it now as the election is finally coming to a close. Well, actually, it's not, because there's counting in. But all of these allegations are being made by the ones who want to win, and everyone else just wants to count the votes, which I thought that's what we did here. I don't know. One party does, I guess. But from a broader perspective, we may be looking at some interesting change on the horizon here. You can kind of joke a little bit about having both Hagalaz and the magician in a reading, but that's significant. It's saying that either something is about to break through, some truth is about to break through, something is about to take place. Yesterday was the supposed 11-11-11 Stargate or portal. I don't know that I look upon it as that. I suppose it could be. But I look at it more as just a lot of illumination, and thinking about even not so much as to what you might have, found out about yesterday, but just we're in a time, because energy is never just in the moment, it just sort of spreads around, right? So we're in an energetic time of illumination. And right now, we've gone from an 11-11-11 day to now we're an 11-3-11. So now we have some illumination with some energy that is both catalytic and aligning in the most catalytic energy of all, and that's in the energy of source presence. So it's almost like we aligned in that illumination, and now we're building, and now we're manifesting. So whatever that is bringing forth, whether we know what it is yet or not, what we're seeing with Hagalaz is definitely change within some kind of a fixed structure. Now, things have changed dramatically in our Congress here in this country. I mean, say what you want to about Republicans and Democrats. I don't see a tremendous amount of difference in terms of the notion of parties, because you've got one party versus another party. But what the folks are that are within those parties, I think that there's definite differences. Probably more the more you go down in not in the higher echelons of them, perhaps, but in the more regular folks. And so when you see a change in the House of Representatives like what we saw, what you're looking looking at is, let's look at where was the change? Well, okay, it was on the Democratic side, but it's not just that, okay? And I've said this last week, that it's not, the real change is in that women, over 100 women were elected. So there is your real change. So we're going to be looking here in the coming months, what is going to happen in terms of how these women will affect the makeup and the energetic expression of Congress going forward. I think that we may see some interesting things take hold. And I think that what it's saying to us is that our foundation needs to be different, given that we have the magician today. Then we're looking at, I wonder if it's better over there. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Depends on how the candles are working, because I've got one here and one here. But basically, we're looking at, when you're looking at the magician, you're looking at manifestation from its genesis. So that tells me that whatever change that is manifesting is of a foundational nature. Okay, so I think as we go forward, let's pay attention to what things come up, what comes up in the news, what we hear about, where the direction is going. Like I say, we still don't have a clear picture of what things are going to look like in this country because the votes are still being tallied. You know, I know the Republicans don't want that to happen, but it's going to. So get used to it. You're not going to control that anymore. That's all going to go away now. We're going to do the right thing in this country, and whatever the results are, irrespective of what they are. Okay, be they Republican or Democrat, as long as they're real, that's what matters. Doesn't matter what the outcome is, as long as every vote is counted and that the vote is accurate. Okay, that those totals are accurate. That is all that matters here. We'll figure out the rest as people are inaugurated or sworn into office, okay? We'll figure it out there. But right now, we need truth. And so we have a chance for that because people aren't backing down now. They're just not. And they're calling people out that are trying to circumvent all of this. So we'll see what happens in the next few days, and we'll see what kind of foundation we end up with. But I really think, given Hagalaz and the magician today, that this is a special moment, and we need to be very, very observant and pay very close attention to what's going on and what's unfolding, and hold back perhaps on some of the reaction to it, because understand that, you know, like water, our things come in waves, and so some of this may not be real, and if it isn't, if it's not sustainable, then it'll go away with the wave as the wave progresses, right? But those things that are real, that are important, that are of our values, when the wave goes, they're going to be remaining. So that's what we need to be looking for right now. So manifest, do it with wisdom, do it in balance, and I don't know, be the witch. Works for me. Well, listen, have a wonderful day. Go check out the blog at imsteppingaside.com. I put some stuff up this weekend. I didn't do anything more on the YouTube thing, though. I was going to try and do that, but I didn't. I really didn't feel like I really had anything that I wanted to really, or that I had enough, you know, to share. I thought about, you know, doing something herbal, but then I just really couldn't really get my head around that. So I just mostly hung out with my husband and you know, did the whole veteran thing and thanked him a bunch and thanked him again today because technically it's 2 days in a row. So, you know, we just sort of hung out here and you know, watched Galaxy, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, and had some fun that way. But in any event, hope you come back tomorrow. Click subscribe if you like. If you've been here before, welcome back. Nice to see everyone. Have a wonderful week. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and blessed be.